Hello, everyone. Tonight, I want to cover how to get new results regardless of your past. So, all of us have things in our past that we are not proud of, whether we had a part in it and we controlled it or we didn't. So, a little bit about me: I am Arlena Gafford. I am a mama and a mom of two, and I've been with my business for 12 years. Started out just making a little bit of extra money, and now I am full time. So, you never know what life is going to be like. But I want to come out and share with you how you can create new results even if your past wasn't great. So maybe your past, had heartache in it, or you got divorced, or maybe you had to grow up too soon. That happened to me. And so I didn't get to be a child as much as I should have been. But life sometimes helps you and prepares you for things that you're going to have in the future. And regardless of what has happened in your past, you can actually create a new future for yourself. So comment and let me know when you hop on. We'll see if Facebook lets me know when you're on. So hey everyone. So regardless of what your past was and where you're at, you can actually create the future that you want. And I want to give you a few tips on how to do that. So tip number one is to not make excuses and justify where you are. So just because you are in the place you are doesn't mean that you have to stay there. It doesn't mean that you have to go, okay, well, this is my life and I can't help it because I'm in this place. Instead, you want to turn that around. So number one is to not make excuses and don't justify where you are. So my mom can definitely say and agree with me on this, and she's always heard me say this: we are where we are 90% of the time because of our actions personally. So my actions led me to where I am. Some things I love and some things I don't love. So we all have that, and we all have regrets, or we all have those things that we wish we could go back and redo. But instead of justifying it or making excuses, we're going to turn around and have a vision for our future. So that's another big thing that I try to do, is always dream of what could be. So just because my life ended up the way it is now doesn't mean that I have to stay in this place either. So definitely have a vision for your life. You want to know where you're going, who you're going to be, how are you going to get there, who, can you take along with you. Maybe you want to help them change their lives. And so really look at how you can do this. And I want to give you, how many of you have heard of Les Brown? I have. So he is definitely a huge motivator. And he says you have greatness in you. And we all have greatness in us. So who believes that? Raise your hand if you believe that you have greatness inside of you. And if you don't, you really want to take a step back and look at yourself in the mirror and know that you do. So we all have our own personal strengths. We all have our own weaknesses. And we are here in this world for a reason. So you want to know that you have greatness inside of you. So again, remember, don't justify where you are. Don't make those excuses, and create a vision of who you want to be and where you want to go. And third is to beware of non-serving statements and frustration or overwhelmed. You don't want to use some of those words. So I have really tried not to use those words as much, because instead of being frustrated, let me look at where I'm going. So when you're frustrated, instead of thinking about where you are at this moment, look at where you want to be. So again, having that clear vision of what your life is going to look like, that's going to help you to not be frustrated. So I know for a couple of us, we have our business, and sometimes we want it to be bigger and better than what it is now. But instead of sitting here and crying over it and dwelling on it, instead, I said, nope, I'm not going to do that. I know what I need to do in my business to move forward and to keep going forward. And so that's exactly what I did. today, and I actually am very proud of having a couple things move forward because of that. So instead of using those words like frustration, overwhelmed, disappointed, or non-serving statements, really trying very hard, who also has those as well. Hey Lori, sometimes we do need this. Sometimes we need to like have a pep talk with ourselves or a pep talk with your best friend. So April and I definitely give each other pep talks all the time. Chris, Brandy, and I do it a lot as well. So we try to lift each other up if someone is down. Hey Brandy, mention you and you pop on. So we really try to keep each other pumped up when we have those down moments. And we all do have those down moments, but we don't want to just dwell in those moments. So really don't look at that frustration. Don't look at being overwhelmed. Take a step back if you need to for a minute and regroup and refocus, and then keep moving forward. And that's really going to help you with your life, of making it a better life instead of thinking your past has to be your future as well. So a couple more tips is definitely staying consistent and having patience. Okay, so I am not one to have patience. My daughter can agree to that. I think some things should just happen overnight, and it doesn't. So I am trying my best to have patience more than I have for years. So, and then sometimes I think I do have a lot of patience for things that maybe I shouldn't have patience for, but I think we all kind of do that. So having patience, knowing that what we have been in. So let's take budgeting, for example. If you are looking at your budget and you want to turn that around, but you have a slip up this month, well, you're just starting that. Or maybe you're starting to work out, or maybe you're starting a business, or maybe you're starting to get serious about your business and it's just been play this whole time. So know that it's not going to happen overnight, and you need to have patience with that, and you need to be consistent with it as well. So always keeping it at the top of your mind, so you know every day your actions are working towards that and you're being consistent on what you're trying to achieve. So I am always looking at my budget from time to time throughout the week to make sure that I try to stay on budget, or I stay very close to it. So that is one of my big things that I have done this year. I am proud to say that I am not flat broke. So, hey, Chris. So I'm so happy to say that I'm not flat broke, because that is something that I have always been in my past, and I refuse to do that anymore. So am I where I want to be? Of course not. Like, nowhere near where I want to be. But I am better than I was even 6 months ago or a year ago. So this time last year I had zero in savings. This time this year, I have something in savings. And so I can look at, okay, where do I want to be next year? How much do I want to have in savings? Where do I want my business to go? And you can do the exact same thing. So recap on, and I really encourage all of you to look at your life. Maybe it's great, good, that is awesome. If it's just wanting your house a little bit more cleaner, I need that too, but that's just not my focus right now, y'all. So maybe it's to work out a little bit more. Look at what your goal is. It doesn't have to be that your past was horrible. It could just be one little thing that you want to tweak to make a little bit better now. So one, you do not want to have excuses. You don't want to use that as, don't justify, oh, well, I'm here because of this. No, you want to look at how you can move forward. So you want to create your vision is tip number 2, and really have a vision on where you want to go. Like, look at where you want to be. What would happen in 5 years if you did those tasks every day, and where would you be in 5 years? Then tip number 3 is to beware of things that we say to ourselves that's not serving us, like non-serving statements, frustration, overwhelm, disappointed. So sometimes we have those, and our little mind starts talking to us, and a lot of times it's not in the positive way. So beware of that and don't let that happen. And then be consistent with yourself. So Really look at what you're doing, be consistent in those activities, and also have patience to know that it's not going to happen overnight, but you can make a difference. So I challenge all of you to take this challenge tonight to look at where your life is. What do you want to change in your life, and how can you change it? How can you go to bed tonight knowing, okay, I know I want XYZ for my life. My life is not where I want it to be, and I want to change it. So how can I do that? What can I do? And then know, again, it's going to take time, and you can always send me a message if you want a little bit more help on this. I am a lot of times the biggest cheerleader to my friends, and then I'll have times that I'll beat myself up. So they're my biggest cheerleaders as well. So we always want to make sure that we don't listen to the negatives that's in our head. All right? All right, so I hope this helps y'all. No matter what your past is, you can really create your future and make it better than ever before. And don't ever let someone tell you that you can't, because you can. Y'all have a good night, and thank y'all for watching.